Good morning, everybody. My name's Lindsay Davies, and I'm the CEO of QVance. We are a quality control analytics company that's based here in Flemingsberg. We sit upstairs in floor 8 of Novum Building. We are a new company that sits as part of the Nexel Pharma Group, and I know that the CEO of Nexel was here a couple of weeks ago, Matthias Svan. They are our parent company, and QVance was really born of the fact that Nexel Pharma is a cell therapy company working with type 1 diabetes, and as they were transitioning into late-stage clinical trials and bringing some back of their work into the Nordic region, they realized there were some bottlenecks with lack of provisions of specialist ATMP quality analytics within the Nordic region. So I'm going to discuss a little bit this morning about what we do and why we specialize in advanced therapies. So for those of you who don't know what advanced therapies are, they really are a new generation of drug products. And these medicines are based around anything that contains genes, cells, or engineered tissues as the kind of active pharmaceutical ingredient. And they're really designed to repair, replace, or modify biological functions within the body. The problem, or the challenge, should I say, with these drug products is that all of our regulations and the way that we do things like quality control, manufacturing, have been built around traditional drugs and working with powders, tablets, which have, clear mechanisms of action, pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics. And now we're really switching into a bit of a black box medicine. So these products are biological, they're not chemical. So that makes them a lot more complex to work with at a quality level, but also to produce them under good manufacturing practice, or GMP. They are also subject to a lot of special regulatory pathways and caveats in the regulatory pathways because of the fact that they don't work like traditional drugs. And in many cases, they're highly personalized and they're developed or produced for a single person using their own cells, such as autologous cell therapies. So why do we work with them? Well, this market is exponentially growing at the moment. And despite all of the ups and downs with companies moving in and out of the sector, we do actually see a growth of over 25% right now over the next 10 years. And there's a huge market value, and this is due to the fact that primarily the number of companies working with these types of products are increasing as their potential seen, but the cost of producing these products and working with them is so high that means that now companies are starting to outsource. So they're using contract manufacturers, they're using contract QC specialists. They're seeing that the regulators are becoming a little more savvy, that they understand the caveats and the problems and the needs for these products. So those regulatory compliance issues now are increasing. And so there's a real demand for expertise specifically within this area. And when you look at this market as a whole, really the advanced therapy sector are governed by different customer bases. So there's the drug developers who physically work with the drugs, there's the manufacturers that do it for you, there are the raw material suppliers that now have to understand what that means for their products when they're working with things like cell and gene therapies, and then there's the importing agents. So a lot of the starting material may come from abroad. For example, in Europe, a lot of countries don't want to use European donors. They want them from their own country. So we have a lot of import-export going on with tissues and cells. So overall, my message from that is that these products are not like the traditional drugs and biologics we're used to working with. Their batch sizes that you might have, how they're formulated, the value of the product, because they cost a huge amount, and how you handle them is very, very bespoke to the individual product. You cannot put them inside one box and just say, that's a cell therapy. So that means that then when you're quality controlling them and you're having standardized methods, it doesn't work anymore. They don't comply to off-the-shelf kind of methodologies. So we generated QVance as a new startup, and our real mission is really to sit there and be a bespoke QC provider. So we work with you, the customer. You know your product, you tell us what it needs, you tell us how it's handled, and then we'll develop the methods that will work for you. So for those of you who are not working in a company, you might say, well, why do I care? What's QC to me? Well, QC, when you're even in that very first stage of R&D development, sitting in the university, looking at a new pathway or something like that within a cell, you already need to be thinking about, okay, the methodologies I'm using, are they even transferable to industry, or are they so complex that I will never ever be able to transfer them because I know how to do it, but it's really hard for me to teach anybody else. Then you'll go to the next stage, which is pre-GMP, and we have pre-GMP facilities here at Karolinska, which help you in that translating process from the basic bench to a stage where it's considering what would this look like under GMP? How would I need to comply in order to make this a drug product? And that's when your QC really should be implemented, because that methodology that you're producing that you'll then take to GMP, that's where your methods need to be developed already. Then you'll go to GMP and you'll be doing phase 1, phase 2 development, or maybe you're using hospital exemption for your products. And there you need to have a QC method, and you need to have a program for it that you can defend and that can go into your dossier, because that's what the regulators will look at and approve your product on to go into man. And as you climb up the ladder even further and you go into late stage clinical trials or even commercialization through a manufacturing authorization application, that's when you're locked. So then the regulators will say, do you know that the methodologies that you're using can be used continuously, can be transferred to other labs, can be transferred globally? So you really have to have a strong hold on your methods at that point. And then you may even go even further, and you may do post-manufacturing authorization studies and move out your manufacture globally into different centers. And there you want to make sure that they match. And that's where a lot of drug products actually fail, because that tech transfer is not in place. So as you move with time, your QC requirements go up, and your difficulty to change those methods also goes up. And that's why I really instill in you to go very much from ground up, consider your quality analytics, and don't think it's a problem I can take later. But with ATMPs and other bespoke products, and this is also true for a lot of biologics, there's a huge need for flexibility and precision in the methodologies that you choose and use. And this is where we have some distinct problems with advanced therapies and the CROs that are out there at the moment. Many of them send out to multiple vendors across for different testing procedures. You may send it to a centralized center, but they may send it to Italy, to Germany, to England. And therefore, for each sample you send out, that's a bit more of your product gone. So again, we need to bring it into one place for analysis. Then they might not be a specialist in ATMPs, they're just a QC specialist. So you need to have the discussion with them. How much product do you need to validate my process? Some of them I've had say, oh, we just need about 90 liters of cells, is that okay? And you're like, no, that's gonna treat like 5,000 patients, not gonna happen. The knowledge in the legislation is also gapping for those people who don't know ATMPs. They know how it works for a biologic, they know how it works for traditional drugs, but when it comes to ATMPs, there are extra laws that come in that say, in this case, do this. And if that's missing, you need to know it, and that's not particularly fair because you're the specialist in your drug. Then they might not be able to store it. A lot of the products that we're working with are in ultra cold storage, liquid nitrogen, and maybe those CROs don't have the capacity to store in those types of facilities. The volumes of the products, if the methodologies are inefficient, they may ask for far more than you actually need to use. So you need to make sure those methods are correct. And you need turnaround time. For many ATMPs, there's a very short shelf life. So maybe you need a priority service. Maybe you need the results within 6 hours because your shelf life's that. Maybe you need conditional release and they don't understand how that works with. Many of them keep their prices low because they collect samples in and run it at one go. And that's no good to you if you need results now. So this becomes altogether a bit financially unviable because the cost of testing at multiple steps takes too long, it costs too much, and they're not fit for purpose. So our solution is to be that one-stop shop analytics company sitting here in Sweden, meeting the quality analytic needs for those in the Nordics and in Europe. And what we're offering is rapid testing solutions, bespoke methodologies developed for your product with you. We are sitting here in Stockholm. We are specialists in ATMPs and have been myself for over 25 years only working with cell and gene therapy. We know how it works with ATMPs. We know how it works with Läkemedelsverket and other regulatory organizations because we've done it. We've done it through Nexcell. We know the pain points. We have a specialist lab with specialist equipment to be able to offer those services for ATMPs. And what we can't do in-house, we're developing strategic partnerships with other companies so that you can bring your product to us and we'll have qualified the relevant vendors. So then you only need to qualify us and not find those vendors and qualify them yourself. So our hope is then we can move through all these stages of developments of growth together and evolve and scale with you as our customers. So our core provisions that we actually have in-house are quite wide. We will help you with your QC program design. If you're at that very start or you're in a transitional stage, we'll help you with your assay development, including potency assays, which are one of the biggest challenges for ATMPs. We'll help you with your compliance, with your validation. We'll run the physical tests for you if you would want us to do that as a service provision. We can do the environmental monitoring for your GMP facility and the environments you're working with your drug products, help you with your clinical trial design and support, with training, consultancy, and also through our partner services, logistics, if you need to transport product via good distribution practice to a clinic, or you need support with moving product worldwide and ensuring its quality. As I said, we sit upstairs. We have a couple of Class D clean rooms. For sterility purposes, we also have an isolator which sits there and gives us a grade A zone. We have a BSL-2 microbiology laboratory for rapid sterility analysis and also for environmental monitoring. We have a number of modern pieces of equipment so that we can do things like qPCR, NAT testing, mycoplasma testing, endotoxin testing. We have biochemical techniques such as flow cytometry, plate-based assays, and even cell culture that we offer. And we have that cold storage. So regardless of the temperature you're operating at, we have a solution for that as well. As I said, partnerships are integral to our success and to be able to build out the business. We already have a partnership with bioMérieux, who are a distributor and producer of sterility analysis that we use in-house. And we have a partnership with Royal International, who are bespoke for cell and gene therapy, logistics and transport globally. So why would you choose QVance? Well, we are the first ATMP specialist QC company in the Nordics. We were developed by KOLs, or key opinion leaders, in the ATMP field. We know your pain points. We have a number of established partners, and we have a number of partners that are on the way. We aim to offer a one-stop shop service so that you don't use as much product and you're not spending so much on your QC analysis or its shipment all over Europe. And we will offer bespoke and personalized service so that the operating procedures that we have, we don't call them standard operating procedures, we call them customer operating procedures. So as I said, we are a startup, so where are we now? So we are meeting all of our milestones, I'm happy to say, and we've now commenced service provision for those of you who want to work at R&D grade. And we hope to have our GMP license in Q1 of next year, so that by Q2 we can move into full GMP service provision. QVance, as I said, was born out of Nexcel, so our management team are based from Nexcel itself. Matthias, who is the CEO of Nexcel, is chairman of the board, and Patrick is our CFO, but we are supported by a very strong team of quality assurance and quality control engineers that are extremely good at their job, and I truly wouldn't be standing here without them. So we are very happy in the service provisions that we can offer. These are two of our team, Navina, who is our QA manager and comes with many, many years of experience in QA, and also a registered pharmacist. And Andrew, who is here today, and you're welcome to speak to, is a specialist from both the academic and industrial settings, so really understands how to support that transition, but has also been working in a GMP environment, especially with microbiology and molecular experience for many years. And we also have an external consulting support team, so where we're missing gaps in our actual QVance in-house team, then we have those gaps plugged with consultants to offer a full service. Our long-term vision is to grow, of course, but maintaining that bespoke and personalized service to our customers. And that's really important for us to stay at the cutting edge of technology, because with cell and gene therapies, the technology moves so fast, even though the regulations don't move as fast. So we want to increase and diversify those services that we're offering in-house and widen our target market, and move towards automation of a lot of our services ultimately, so that we can make sure that those turnaround times always stay low. So in summary, the protocols for cell and gene therapies are very unique to the product. So I would always say, understand your product to justify the protocols that you intend to use. Quality is an evolving concept. It moves with your product life cycle and your understanding of that product, but also with the technologies that are out there. So always start as early as possible and don't leave quality to be the last thing to consider. We are totally agnostic of where you're at in your development stage, whether you are at concept or whether you're at commercialization, we don't mind. We are there to help you, and then we are there to basically sit and listen to your needs and adapt around them. So our vision really is to work with you, our customers, and provide that tailored service to your individual needs. And what I will say is, you are the expert in your product, not us. We will help you to know how to make QC work for you, to lower your costs, to conserve the precious material that you have, and give you data and a fast and a safe route to your patient. So we would be very happy to support your journey. And I will leave here my contact information if you don't catch me today, and say thank you very much, Natasha, for the opportunity to present.